Paid for by Citizens for Ken Lanci. Joseph Casaro, Treasurer.
My name is Gary Holland. I am a member of the three-member transition advisory group. I was asked today to moderate this, and I will take some time to kind of lay out the rules of the day so that all the candidates will have a fair chance.
Today, the Cuyahoga Next Advisory Group held a forum on economic development. All the candidates participated, and as the luck of the draw would be, I was the first candidate to make an opening statement.
Thank you very much. Good morning to everybody, and I want to thank Cuyahoga Next in their leadership on job creation in Cuyahoga County.
You always hate to be first, but in this case, it definitely worked out to my advantage. The important thing for me was to be able to express my opinion about all that has been done with Cuyahoga County.
As I prepared for this forum, and as I've gone through the county and visiting a number of offices, the common theme seems to be that we're not doing something right. Obviously, the new county government is going to give us a single leader. That single leader has to have a vision, has to have experience to make a difference. Well, I can tell you that I'm a candidate who has 40 years of business experience, and that experience, to me, seems to be more critical today after I've listened to everything that Mr. Lawson-Jones has said, because somewhere along the line there is a disconnect, and somehow, some way, we have to pull that together.
He did really well, and he had a real honest presentation, because a lot of the things the county's currently doing sound like great ideas, but it takes a leader like Ken to actually implement these things.
We are not going to give our jobs to people from Detroit. We're not going to give our jobs from people from New Jersey or from Philadelphia. Those jobs are going to stay here for all of our people.
What they need is a leader that is willing to create a vision, to be able to take risks, all right, make deals, and chart a course, and feel confident that the course that they're charting is one that will yield success.
Thank you all very much.
Party's over, our frustration. Either side, there's no salvation. But now, my friend, we finally get another try. In the end, please don't let this chance go by. Seize the moment, 'cause when it's gone, then it's gone. Seize the moment, 'cause when it's gone, then it's gone. If you don't want the same old players to play the same old song, seize the moment, 'cause when it's gone, then it's gone.
Today at News Channel 5, we had a one-hour show that was hosted by Ohio Homecoming and narrated by Leon Bibb. They asked us 5 different questions. You had a minute each to answer. It was a great forum, and there were a lot of good answers by a lot of the candidates. But when the rubber meets the road, it's all about experience, and it's all about being able to facilitate change, and that's what I've done all my life.
What we wanted to do was to showcase all of the candidates so people can understand that there is a choice and that they have some excellent choices.
You're always hoping that your candidate does well, and so we're sitting there on pins and needles. We're sitting there with Linda, his wife, and Wally, his son, and so we're all kind of fingers crossed, and his first answer out, and we're like, whoo. Second answer, I kind of hit Linda because I was like, yes!
He answered the question so perfect, so truthful, and that's who he is. He is for the people. He wants to help the people.
Well, there'll be a lot more of these events, I'm sure, and we'll also have debates after September the 7th, I believe, is the primary. And I look forward to having a dialogue and to banter back and forth.
I think Ken's strongest question and answer today was about going to all the departments and agencies that he has been throughout this past 6 months.
Ken Lanci has an office right across the street from my office. We are neighbors in the Midtown corridor, and I have admired him for a long time in terms of his business acumen. He's a man that started at the bottom and rose to the top, and I think that he has a fantastic opportunity to do some great things for the county if he's elected.
When I was 18 years old, I kind of had a baptism of fire in getting involved with the family business in a way that I was becoming operational rather than just the labor. And so the gentleman who became my mentor, Stanley Eulish, an attorney, a prominent attorney at the time, took the time to guide me through a reorganization. My father had already been bankrupt when I was 15, and so he wasn't able to go bankrupt again. So through that reorganization, I took over the company and turned it around in about 3 years. Lo and behold, as a result of that, I became a consultant. So I started to deal with people that had businesses that had problems, and one thing would lead to another. There were opportunities that of companies that I was able to acquire, turn around, and make profitable. I would either sell them or I kept them.
Our company is Hart Adhesive Technologies. Our tagline is Adhesive Solutions and Support Beyond Your Imagination. I first met Ken Lanci in 1993, a mutual supplier of the company I worked for, and the company he owned had suggested that his company might be available, and I was looking to buy a small business. I scheduled a meeting with Ken, and right from the very beginning, I just got a sense that, first of all, he really understood how to do a deal. But at the same time, I felt that he was going to be honest with me. Certainly he was going to look out for his best interest, but I also felt that he was going to be fair with me. Fortunately, because I'd never done it before, Ken did manage a lot of the process. We used his attorney, and his attorney, in many respects, he wrote the contract, and I kind of felt in my conversations with him looked out for me as much as he looked out for Ken. The deal, like any deal, took some negotiation and some time, but eventually it got done, and in August of 1996, I actually acquired his company, which at the time was called Lanci Industries. And I'm not going to say that that Ken Lanci was with me every step of the way, but I will say that early on, he made me feel like I could call him any time. When I first heard that Ken was running for county executive, the first thing I thought to myself is, he's not really a politician. But in this day and age, I'm thinking maybe that's what we don't need, a politician. What we really need is a businessman. And I will say that Ken knows how to get things done. And I don't really know what his plans are, but what would be great is just for Cuyahoga County companies to work together. There's plenty of business here, and we should be doing business with each other. But at the same time, maybe learning how to take skills that other companies have and use those outside of the county and other parts of the state, or throughout the country. I love Cleveland. I've had many opportunities in my lifetime to leave Greater Cleveland. I never have. Nothing would make me happier to see this area grow. I have 3 children that make a livelihood in this area. I would like them to stay here. I'd be very sorry to see my children leave. I do have friends whose children have left because they felt that there's just no opportunity in this area. Nothing would make me happier than to see my friends' children and my children prosper in this area. And yeah, if Ken can apply all the knowledge, all the experience, garner all the relationships that he's had over the years, I'm very sure he could be very successful as the county executive.
Over the next 15 years, I probably had 18 different companies, 20 different companies, and eventually had bought, turned around, sold, consulted to many more, and then in 1994, I sold them all. Got back into the business world again within 18 months, and was able to start more companies and to do a couple of turnarounds and continue to grow companies. Met some people that were looking for opportunities. I ventured those companies and guided them, and they're doing very well today.
I met Ken probably in early 90s. Base sales as a broker for 3 or 4